Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What's going on, Chip? What is going on, everyone out there in the On the Chain family today? Major news with XRP community infighting as there's a Ripple XRP showdown, corruption at some of the highest levels of government. We got to get into that because what is that all about? Can't believe that there's corruption in government
Huh.
and in some of these
You
companies
can't
out
believe there's corruption in government?
there.
I can't believe when there's not corruption in government.
Exactly. But want to give a shout out to everybody joining us on this bright and early Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from, or potentially even Sunday morning. So that's important. And stay tuned through the show because you're going to have a chance to win a badass Yetis from the White Tribe, which is just pretty kick ass. So before we roll into the show, just a little glimpse, and that's what we're going to be getting into. So just a little tiny glimpse. You got the glimpse. You're going to win a badass Yeti. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Get your coffee, get your espresso, wake up. It's time to go.
Wakey, wakey.
Let's
go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to everybody on the chain. Drop in where you're coming in from. Love to see where everyone's coming in from, even on the rewatch. We love when you drop in like the city and just make a little banter or something. Maybe
little comment. We're here today on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, all over the airwaves.
Twitch.
We're coming from every possible direction. And the viewer on Twitch, but the viewer on Twitch hasn't joined yet. Where is our viewer?
One viewer on Twitch.
Where always it's consistent. Always one consistent viewer over on Twitch. Let me open up the Rumble chat in case you're tuning in from Rumble. Join us over on Rumble. Rumble is a great platform, and we are streaming exclusively over on Rumble Sunday and Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out onthechain.io for any great content. You missed something, go to onthechain.io. You can listen to it. You can watch it on Rumble, on YouTube. Head over to Rumble. Watch us over there. Stay here on YouTube. Watch us right here. Good morning, Ray.
Morning. Wake up. We got people brewing coffee here, waiting on the coffee to finish brewing.
Brew that
This
coffee.
is a little bit.
This is everything open.
This is disturbing.
There's Davey.
Might be advanced with cryptocurrency, but when it comes to freedom, it's like by the way, Jeff, we know when they lost this whole thing. You remember when the fires were going crazy up in the Northeast and Canada was on fire and all that in the Northeast, and people a lot of smoke was hitting the cities, and the CDC came out and they said don't wear the masks that you wore for COVID because they're not going to help.
They don't do anything.
Well, they kind of like screwed the pooch on that one because the smoke that they can get through there is much larger, and they said that wouldn't help you, and the particles for a viral component is much smaller. Basically, it's a system of control. It doesn't do anything. I mean, there are peer-reviewed studies out there that actually show that, but it's about the science, Jeff. It's all about the science. It's about the science they choose, not the actual science.
It's about the revisionist science. That's how YouTube that. It's all about that. Can you believe Roland is joining us at 5:15 in the morning? Welcome, Roland. Right out there in San Diego. That is
we got Chris coming in from Austin, probably in O-Town. Santa Barbara, that's right. Wisconsin. There's a Wisconsin accent.
Wisconsin. It's super nasally.
Yeah, the Canada extortion fires. Yep, that's right.
Never happened.
You didn't believe us? They simultaneously, all of Canada caught on fire at the exact same time, all across Canada. It just was one of these weird sort of coinky-dinks.
Yes. Scott's over there in where is he? Guelph, Ontario. I've never heard of Guelph.
I never have either. We might have to Google that. I don't know that one either.
Man, ASM's coming in from San Rafael, California. That's over near San Francisco area, someplace. But man, so what do we got over here? We got, man, join us over on Rumble. Rumble is a great place to hang out. Birmingham, England. That's very cool. All right,
And there,
let's get into some cool stuff. And I was over in Birmingham in August actually. We stopped by, checked it out for a second. Very cool.
for a nanosecond, for a split second. I wanted
Stopped by
to
the pitch over there, the train station. Very cool.
let's see. Here we go. Here we go again. So Warren Davidson was back in front of the committees again, and he said something pretty interesting about, there's this whole narrative about cryptocurrency and how it's evil and how it's, all the gangsters use it and the corruption. Well, if you really don't want to be traced, you really don't want to use crypto. I mean, if you really don't want to be found out, I'm not going to want to use crypto. But anyway, let's listen in on this thing. This is pretty good.
Is it objectively true, Mr. Levin?
Thank you for the question, Congressman. So when it comes to the Iranian economy does not run on the blockchain, and so that is not the preferred.
Iranian criminals or any other criminals, the U.S. dollar is the reserve currency for a reason. Cash is king when it comes to illicit finance, not cryptocurrency. Is that beyond dispute? I think Chainalysis put out a report that said it was like 0.12% of all the crypto transactions were illicit. And all crypto transactions combined are a tiny fraction of U.S. dollar transactions. So could it possibly be objectively true that the preferred currency for illicit activity is crypto?
Yeah, no, so I think, thank you for the question, Congressman. When it comes to the set of transactions, we said it was 0.24% of the transactions in cryptocurrency can be linked specifically to illicit activity. And yes, that's a very, very small subset of the overall transaction volume in the traditional financial system.
Yeah, and so I just think like it's so many fallacies like that, and we can't just accept them at face value. Another one, Ms. Jimenez, in your testimony, you used the presence of digital asset-related SARS, suspicious activity reports, as an indication of overwhelming amount of crime in the digital asset ecosystem. In my view, that kind of prejudges it as, guilty until proven innocent. I think the Biden family would want the innocent till proven guilty, given their number of SARs. But according to the Department of Treasury, and I quote, SARs are preliminary and unverified tip and lead information, quote. Given this important context, would it be fair to say that digital asset-related SARs are actually demonstrate U.S.-based exchanges are trying to comply with the BSA framework? It would be evidence that they're trying to comply, correct?
Yes, however, there's also enforcement actions against numerous U.S.-based VASs for failing to file SARs.
Thank you.
Did you see that? Did you
Yeah.
see how snippy she was at the end? Look at the look. She's like, she knows she has to say yes, but she's gonna get a dig in there, right? It's like, look at her at the end. She's got it. They gotta. Oh yes, but watch how she answers this.
Yes, however, there's also enforcement actions against numerous U.S.-based VASs for failing to file SARs.
Thank you.
Look at the look. Telling, Jeff. Very telling.
They're so filled with hate and animosity, especially when they get
Rage.
caught. It's like, I don't know, it's rage, but they feel like they're so entitled. I don't want to say they believe that they're so entitled to the point where they, the response that they give is so snide. They feel like they're so above it. They act like, the question is just so beneath them that the person asking the question just doesn't know what they're talking about. And, to that point, as they try to diminish or attack cryptocurrency and blockchain, when it's 0.12, the subtitle said 0.2. Warren Davidson had said it was 0.12, not 0.2, but 0.12% of the illicit, not 1%, not 5%, not 50%, not 10%, 0.12%. And so, like you said, cash is king. So man, there's so much, Jim D, SARS suspicious activity, like the buy a vote with free stuff purchased on, put that one up. That's a perfect commentary right there. Mark Smithson, also not a single illicit activity in world history can be traced back to fiat. No, none, zero, not Not one bit, Chip.
Well, unless the bills are
just
marked,
enough.
like in the movies, like we'll specially mark the bills, right? And then we'll be able to trace them.
Then we'll trace them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't really happen anymore. And if you really want, that's why when you want to deliver billions of dollars to Iran and from a certain administration, you send it on a pallet. You don't actually wire the money. No, that can be traced. You can actually see a wire, but you put it into a back of a plane on a pallet, and you roll it out on a pallet, and then that money gets distributed, and who knows what happens to it. I mean, so that's kind of how you do it.
And there is KYC AML, and there are methodologies of tracing large transactions and identifying where that wallet end source is and where the initiation source is. So if, let's say, you have massive amounts of money flowing into wallets, that's how they are able to also track movement of money and cryptocurrencies that are flowing into the hands of terrorists. But they're tracing it, they're tracking it, but they're trying to make and put cryptocurrency as the culprit, of all. And this is how they're circumventing law, or they're going to continue to commit illicit activity through it. And they're trying to admonish it. The reason why, Chip, I believe they're trying to admonish cryptocurrency, and I'm sure you agree and everyone else agrees, is that its decentralized nature of cryptocurrency is allowing to put the power back into the hands of the people. So it's empowering people, and it's not just empowering people, but it's empowering the opportunity of wealth creation amongst the citizens of the world. And that's it. They hate that. They don't like it here. They don't like it in any of these other developing or any developing nations. They don't want it in Western nations. Chip, I read an article someplace that said within 3 to 5 years, the technology is going to be here in the U.S. in place to where they're going to be rolling out CBDCs. And so their end goal, control, and they're determined to do that. That's where it gets stopped.
Amazing. No, I mean, I was just caught up in this other corruption case going on here.
Check out Views on Bruises coming in from Tullamore, Ireland, where the Tullamore Dew is. That's a pretty decent whiskey if you haven't had it.
It's a good whiskey, yeah.
It'd be cool to go to. I haven't been to Tullamore, but it would be awesome to go over there and tour if they have a tour of the distillery. Not like I didn't do the Jameson distillery tour because it's just more touristy. It's not actual production. Similar to like going to the Guinness factory. Now they actually have production on the grounds over there, and it was fun. That was enjoyable. I like distilleries, kind of doing the whole tour, like go through wineries. Man, it's cool, very cool.
Yeah, and that's the choice of if you're ever in San Francisco, which used to be a phenomenal city until they just turned it into a Chinese colony.
So Ray's asking whiskey or beer. You know what's good? If you get a pint of Guinness and get a shot, I don't know, whatever Irish whiskey of choice, do like a Jameson or what is that? There's a whole bunch of different Tullamore Dew or whatever. Just get a shot of whiskey and sip the whiskey while you're drinking the Guinness, and it just the two flavors just mix together so nicely. It's just kind of an enjoyable, palatable thing.
Yeah, and that's the right there. If you go to the Buena Vista, famous little.
Look at that.
And San Fran, of course, that's what they use. That's the famous whiskey that they actually use. But it's nice to just pop in there. It was just, again, it's not a famous Irish coffee, and that's the brand that they use right there, Jeff. I don't know if you knew that, but I wanted to jump in this other story here. This
Jim D, big winner. Look at that. He identified 5 shots of random kegs when he did the Jameson tour. That's a talent.
That's impressive. Now that's a talent you need, right? So this guy right here, Gerber Gruol. Let's just talk about the massive corruption that we got to get into. Okay, this dude right here is out there, director of enforcement over the SEC, and meanwhile, he is under investigation for corruption himself because he was the New Jersey Attorney General up until 2021, and of course he got caught up in this whole Bob Mendez, which the Senator Mendez scandal. Which Mendez, I don't honestly know how he escaped 10 years ago when he got all that corruption. But this is it. You get a free pass if you're in government, especially if you're in the left side of things. You get an extra special free pass. But he's under investigation. And meanwhile, he's going to tell us, Jeff. He's the guy telling all of us like how we should conduct ourselves in finance and everything. But I've got a video here from him, and he is. Let's pull this video up here. So he's asked an interesting question here. Let me see. Where is Gruel? Here we are. There we go.
I wanted to ask you what is the current thinking from the SEC in light of recent court decisions. But for the benefit of our readers, let me summarize the misalignment as best as I can. So, as you know, Judge Torres in the Southern District of New York considered XRP by Ripple Labs and found that the sales of tokens to institutional investors were actually securities because they were directly negotiated with the understanding that proceeds from these sales will be.
His body language is weird here, right? He's like twisting and turning and is all up around Jeff. It's like it's kind of weird. He's like twisting and turning and listening and just thinking about how he's going to answer this.
On the hot seat. Yep.
Reinvested into the enterprise. Obviously, these were exempt transactions, but the threshold question was that contract involved a security. But on the other hand, she found that sales to the public in anonymous transactions over crypto exchanges, these were not securities because investors did not buy from Ripple and they were not responding to any marketing campaign. So that's what Judge Torres found. On the other hand, Judge Rakoff did not fall in line with that reading, and he argued that no such distinction can arise because if there's a public campaign for the tokens, it draws no distinction on whether it is on the type of purchaser, institutional or retail. So I know you cannot comment on current cases, but I was hoping you could expand on the factors the SEC considers when it approaches this question.
Sure. I mean, you're right. I can't comment on pending litigation, and there is a lot of pending litigation right now. But I think there's not a lawyer in the room that you're in or a lawyer that practices in this space or a court that really struggles to find the framework that we use to determine whether or not something constitutes a security in this space. In this case, in the crypto space, all the attorneys in this room, all the attorneys counseling crypto issuers look to the Howey test. And Howey, based on a seminal Supreme Court case from 1946 and decades of case law since, defines what, or gives us a framework of determining what constitutes an investment contract and therefore a security under the federal securities laws. And that's really the point of Howey. Whether or not something is a security doesn't depend on the label you give it. It doesn't depend on.
I mean, it's a bunch of BS, but I mean, and the guy asking the question is a little bit missing too. He's a little, he's a little undereducated. He doesn't.
That's the problem.
Well, what he missed was he talked about, and again, this is all set up ahead of time. This is to make these guys look good. Ripple was found to be security because it was institutional sales and because they directly negotiated. And then he brings in the other judge from that senseless, from the I think it was a library case. He talking about that, which has no bearing on this case at all, the Torres decision. But what he missed was, hey, by the way, this litigation is ended. This litigation you can comment on because this is no longer pending. And then guess what? XRP was determined is not a security based on the seminal 1946 Howey test that was, from the Supreme Court. So everything's sort of inferred, like you gotta have to read around the edges, but at no time does the presenter ever actually mention the fact that it was ruled that George out of Torres came that XRP is not a security. But he talks about the Ripple portion of it, and it's more frustration. And then you get a guy, I can't comment on the pending litigation. Okay, well that first case that ended. I mean, I guess it's still going with Ripple.
You can say that whenever you want. I mean, it's and that's how with the SEC, that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to just tie up everybody in continuous litigation, and that's what Silhouette Park is saying here. By having mass litigation, the SEC doesn't have to comment on anything. Like, sorry, it's pending litigation. We're involved in litigation. I can't talk about it. I'm not going to reference. I'm not going to talk about our investigations going on, similar to when they're hammering on the FBI, situation, and or they're going to hammer Gary Gensler on some of his ongoing stuff. It's all under litigation. I'm not going to get into it and talk about it. Well, hey, you know what? The people want an answer. You answer to the people, and at some point when you realize that these guys are overstepping their boundaries, they're stepping in areas they have no control over, and yet when we let them maintain that control, that's our own fault. That's if we allow them to dictate the terminology, we allow them to dictate the narrative, and if they're not called to the mat, then they control it. Complete control of it. And that's what we've seen kind of unfolding for the past couple years, is that you're letting the nuts control the insane asylum. And at some point, you got to rein it back in. We can't allow this to continue to happen. It's got to end at some point. That Judge Torres decision in this space was massive because it smacked Gary Gensler down. I don't know how anybody can read any different into it. Where's their appeal? I don't care what another judge says at this point. It doesn't matter. Bring it to appeal, bring it through the courts, and then let's see. But at this point, if you want to have somebody else commenting on it and then not apply the full law, the full reading of the law or full understanding of it, and these guys from the SEC still want to adhere to, a couple prongs or one prong of the test, and they don't want to apply the whole thing. But what's crazy, Chip, is that these same people from the same administration, from the blue team, what they're doing is they're ignoring laws on the books. So if you're ignoring laws, let's say at the border, and you're allowing illegal entry into this country, which is an invasion, and should be considered a felony and a threat against the sovereignty of this country, and you're going to ignore that, why do any other laws matter at that point?
Right. Well, not only that, but how many times do you see bills going bantered around Congress? All they are is an extension of what we already have in the Constitution. So you don't need something to reinforce something that's already exists. Right. But a lot of times, this is the reason they fast track these bills, and the reason they want to have them is because it takes anywhere from, could be 6 months to 18 months before it ends up in the Supreme Court and then gets overturned. Right. So you have that grace period, and we saw this happen. 2020 on, we saw all of these things that were enshrined in the Constitution and protected under constitutional law, so that actually were overturned, but it took some time. It took a little bit more time to go actually make it up to the court. So there's a lot of that stuff that goes around. I couldn't agree with you even more on that. And, Gensler was out there making some remarks this week. He was talking, and we're not going to listen to his remarks because, God, they're god awful boring.
How can we hear that?
But he said, as Joseph P. Kennedy, the first SEC chair, once said, "We're not prosecutors of honest business, nor defenders of crookedness. We are partners of honest business and prosecutors of dishonesty. We shall not prejudge, but we shall investigate." What a bunch of horse shit this is, Jeff. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Gary Gensler trying to say that this is like trying to stand it up as their motto. No, that's not their model. They are the prosecutors of honest business. They went after Library, a company, a small company they took on to go ahead and bend and break. Okay, you look at the only company that had the coffers to back up that was really Ripple. I mean, besides Ripple, who else really had that war chest to be able to fight them? I mean, certainly Library could have done much more had they had a bigger war chest, right? And so I look at this and I think this remark right here is just absolutely insane. Rough Rican, what's going on, Rough Rican? Look at with the big old super sticker there. Thank you for that, man. Always in here on Saturdays, man. Always appreciate seeing you, man. Thank
Very
you for
big
that.
support. Appreciate you, Rough Rican. So here's the mission of the SEC, not what Gary Gensler is saying, right? It's not. So the mission is at the Securities Exchange Commission. We work together to make a positive impact on the U.S. economy, our capital markets, and people's lives. Since our founding in 1934, at the height of the Great Depression, we have stayed true to our mission of protecting investors, maintaining fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitating capital formation. Our mission requires tireless commitment and unique expertise from our staff, dedicated public servants who care deeply about protecting the investing public. and others who rely on our markets to secure their financial futures. At what point does that mean that they are prosecutors of dishonesty? That's not what they are. They're not partners of honest business and prosecutors of dishonesty. They're there to protect the public, the investing public. That's it. You're there to protect the investing public. So if there isn't harm to the investing public, whatever else you're doing is a complete overreach of your authority. So by attacking blockchain and putting your own opinions into the lack of clarity, or there's laws on the book and you want to spin this narrative like you have the control and you understand it, and then you want to circumvent that all the years of case law that have been written around the prongs of the Howey test, and you're not going to apply that correctly because you have some animus towards one financial sector, which is cryptocurrency, because you're beholden to lobbyists, to those that control your purse strings, and you're bowing down in front of the altar as an unelected bureaucrat that isn't serving the interest of the public. It's so disingenuous. He sits up there and he's lying to the American public. Lying. And the reason why you can say he's outright lying to the American public is because he is not a prosecutor of dishonesty. He is 100% supposed to be there, committed to the protection of the investing public. And again, as that final note, I already said it. If the investing public doesn't need protecting, anything else you're doing is dishonest yourself.
Right. And $15 billion was eroded in investor funds, right? So that lawsuit was filed, 15 billion people, and there were folks that had the money tied up in a 401k that were frozen. So you couldn't even take money out of your 401k. This is how he was protected. Meanwhile, you had FTX and these others left unchecked that just went in. He was meeting. And this is really the bottom line corruption. When you think about Gary Gensler, I mean, his big one, you want to nail him on, and I'm seeing this starting to bubble up again. Brian Costello is doing some amazing work on this, of exposing what's going on with the protecting these Chinese organizations and companies, and a lot of it at the benefit of the SEC. But I think when you think about Gary Gensler, I mean, he was the bag man for the Hillary Clinton campaign. He wrote the checks. He was under oath. We had Donald's on here. Rep. Donald's was nailed him in court. You're under oath, Mr. Gensler. You are under oath. He didn't know. He wrote the check. You wrote the check. That was the Alpha Bank hoax. You wrote the check for the discredited Steele dossier, opposition research. They didn't know they were paying for opposition research. They absolutely know. Everybody knows. Even the mainstream media acknowledges it was opposition research, but it was beyond opposition research. So you wrote a check to a law firm that crafted all this stuff, but you don't know. This is how you nail this guy. That's massive corruption. Okay, so you are the one that paid for it, and they get him under oath again and start asking him questions about that, and then let's see the FOIA request for the checks. Let's see his signature on the check. Let's see it all. It's all public data and knowledge, and this is how corruption goes. Corruption didn't start yesterday. It's always been there, Jeff. It's not something new.
And that's the problem. Do these guys ever see jail time? At this point, there's so much information to prove the corruption, from irregularities in voting to movement of money to paybacks after they get out of public office. So this guy he did well. You can't say Gary Gensler didn't do well before going into public office. But it's not really public. I mean, he's getting paid by the people. He's not elected. But he's going to be even richer when he comes out. Think about all the money. So just watch him when he comes out of office. Just monitor his speaking engagements, how much money he gets paid, how many book deals he has, how much money gets paid on those book deals. That money, you can't track it. You can't trace it. So you can't tell me that you take these individuals and they come out and everybody writes a book, right? Everybody has this propensity of all of a sudden everybody can write a book, and they put the books out.
Nobody reads, Jeff.
Right. Nobody reads a book, but all of a sudden they're like, oh, these guys, they're on the bestseller list and they make millions of dollars, and no one seems to read these books, but they always have a book, and then their speaking fees are ridiculous. Like, there's a whole sort of them that are like that. And it's just, there's so many problems, just rife with corruption.
Let's break down the book. The book is the money laundering. This is how you launder money effectively, right? So you get paid an upfront fee because you're
Amazing.
somebody special, right? Because you had somebody's name and you were in government, right? So you get a book advance. So you're going to get $3 or $4 million advance to write this book that a ghostwriter is going to write that no one's ever going to read. And then all of a sudden, the first couple of weeks ends up on the New York Times bestseller list because another entity purchases the books. You see how that works, Jeff? So the money gets laundered, and then that money goes back into the coffers that pays for that advance, and everything. It's I mean, it's conjecture, right? You can say, well, I mean, but most of the time, those books are purchased by usually one or two entities. They purchase all the books. Who knows? They dump them somewhere. I always see them over at Costco. I always like to see like stacks of books of like so-called bestseller that are sitting there where there's other books that are just very few of because people actually read them. So it's just another money laundering scheme that these politicians do. And we're seeing this coming out of people from the ex-Trump administration. Also, they're writing a book, the tell-all book. It'll be published right before the election, and they get in advance. And they're just suddenly the darlings. And this is how they get paid back. And this is how you get paid. You get paid for rolling over on people. You get paid for almost anything, and that's how it works.
Yeah, or artwork. You can get paid lots of money for
NFTs
for
too,
artwork,
Jeff.
apparently. But here you have so proud participant of freedom saying every agency does that, a way to avoid real problem solving and letting Americans know what's really happening or the moves they're working on behind the scenes. They know we are too busy with the bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit going on right now, and everyone's eye is off the focus. We have to put our eye back on the prize there to see exactly what these guys are doing. They try to cover it up. Davies saying they're over the top. They need to get the axe, especially Gary Gensler. Gary the Guzzler. That's right.
Gary the Guzzler. Well, there's some
There's one from Jim D. SEC needs a class action lawsuit for destroying, removing $2 trillion in market cap from the $3 trillion crypto market. They hurt many millions of small investors, and that's exactly spot on. And Michael is doubling down on what we just said. I'm an author. Anyone can buy the top spot New York Times bestseller, 60,000. I wrote them. It's true. There you go.
There you go, Michael, bringing the receipts right there. I mean, what was Jim D's comment here? First of all, you can't do it. There is no class action against the SEC. Okay, there's no damages against the SEC. In some states, some of the legislation they passed was if you fraudulently go after somebody, and anybody being in business, Jeff, we're both in business. I've been sued. You have to go defend yourself. You have to hire an attorney. It's bull crap. It gets turned over. So what? You had to spend some money. People will sue you for almost anything. They can bring it. But if it's litigation that is nonsense, then in some states you have to pay. If you lose, you want to take to court, you go ahead and lose, and it's fraudulent, or it's a ridiculous case, then you have to pay all the attorney's fees of the other person. And what did that do? It cut down on all this nonsense, right? You're not going to go after somebody that's not. But the problem with the SEC is they're protected under law. I mean, John Deaton, when he was on here, he went into specifics, said there is no repercussion against the SEC. You cannot go back against them. They're all protected individuals, a government agency. You can't. There is no class action. She says, we eroded $15 billion or $2 trillion in market cap. Oh, well, that's the way it goes. Oh, what about FTX? You were sleeping on that one. Well, that was an outside, that was in the Bahamas. Okay, well, why were you meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried then? Why were you meeting with this guy? Right. Why did you hide the other times you met with him? And why do we have to do FOIA requests to see those, Jeff? It's just, the whole thing is absolutely nonsense. There's another comment here that I wanted to follow this up with because Stu Alderati, general counsel for Ripple, said, fact check Gensler's recent remarks. Ripple was sued, but never charged with dishonesty. The failed case against it was prejudged, beginning with the ethically compromised Bill Hinman. Gensler has prejudged crypto and has filed suit against others without investigation. That is absolutely spot on, Jeff, right there.
Yeah.
They weren't charged with dishonesty. And Bill Hinman massively, they got to get to the bottom of this corruption case. Like this has to be figured out. And with Stephen Naderoff dropping that seminal recording, that Jeff and I could break down that recording in a whole episode, a 2-hour episode. But I mean, the corruption that was going on, that was happening over at Ethereum, and what was happening behind the scenes, man. Why they never got charged for doing what equates to an ICO, initial coin offering, and all the stuff that went on behind that. I mean, it's just so deep. And Ethereum getting the free pass But today, what are the only two entities that we're aware of in the digital assets realm that are non-securities? Bitcoin and XRP. That's it. Ethereum doesn't have any clarity. They're not out of the woods. And then Stu already went on to say this: the SEC is losing in court, being criticized by judges for shady behavior, being rebuked by the government's internal auditor, hiding info about meetings with a felon, Sam Bankman-Fried, becoming irrelevant in the international stage. That they were just kicked out of that was the Binance case. Gensler admitting no fault has become an insolent Colonel Jessup. And if you remember, that was from the Tom Cruise in a movie. Remember, you can't handle the truth. And then he says down here, he goes, and apologies to Colonel Jessup for that comparison. So I thought it was pretty funny. Nicholson, remember, you can't handle the truth.
It's amazing as we watch this unfold, and and we've watched it for 2 years, and it's still going. It's not like it's over. It's not like everything's going away all of a sudden, everything's perfect, because you see these guys that, again, they just have so much animosity towards people, or towards common everyday, whether, in this country, let's call, Americans. They just have so much animosity. They think they're so above everybody else. They believe that we're there to be subservient to them, instead of the other way around. They forget the purpose that they serve in government. And that fact alone, and the fact that, we're allowing that to happen, is not just problematic, but it's the destabilizing factor, of this country. The reason why you see things happening and unfolding the way we see them unfolding. We see the protests in the streets. We see vandalism. We see attacks against police officers. Now, for the past couple of years, we've seen that burning buildings being burned down, calls for genocide in the streets, calls for violence in the streets, calls from congressional representatives on the blue team for violence in the streets, for stepping up and getting in people's faces, getting in public, Maxine Waters, getting in the faces of elected officials, and making sure they get in the faces of anyone who's on the red team, and not giving them an inch. That's a call for violence. That's a true call of their quote unquote. I'm not going to say it on YouTube, but we'll talk about it tomorrow night, right? But it's extremely dangerous, the rhetoric that they've all participated in. The problem is that the red team is allowing it to happen. Instead of calling them to the mat, instead of pushing forward the subpoenas, especially now they're holding Congress, they could tie them up in all sorts of action, and continuously. You hear them talking about it, but why not? Now we got to go after the media, because the media is also participating in this deception. And we see it every single day as they cover it up. And we see what just happened in DC. We just see what happened in Penn Station. They locked down Penn Station. Tell me that people that were in Penn Station, when you have protests calling for genocide, tell me they feel safe. Tell me on last Friday, when they were protesting and spraying pepper spray into the face of police officers, that not just the police officers, but people, members of Congress that were in the building, felt safe, like they could come out. There was a UFC fighter that was leaving, and he was in his van last week, and they got into one of these environments where they had these protests going on, calling for genocide. And he said he felt so unsafe in the vehicle, and they started banging on his van. And when they realized it was UFC, the whole crowd came over to his van and started shouting at them. Now, could you imagine? Now that, to me, you're falsely imprisoning somebody. You're holding them almost hostage because they're in a vehicle. They can't move. They're now trapped in that area, and they feel threatened, right? So there's so many levels. But if you're not going to take legal action against those that are there and bring it to that level to say, hey, look at what just happened. I felt that my life was endangered. I felt completely unsafe. They attacked it. They're all these different things. So whether it's from the SEC or from just public safety, when we allow it to happen, who's really at fault at that point? And so that's kind of where we're at. We're at this critical moment in history right now, We
That's the
saw
business.
England is falling. We know England's falling. And now the US, once again, World War I, World War II, and this one is really a global war. We're in the midst of World War III right now. It started, it's happening as we speak because there's invasions around the world in all Western countries. And those that are invading are saying their purpose. They tell you exactly what they want to do. The problem is it's being supported by those that are in government. It's being supported by those that are in media. That's the problem.
Well, Jeff, coming off of that, it's a little bit of a break here. Let's put you guys type in Yeti, YETI, type that in. We're going to start collecting these, and be prepared to share your wallet address. If you don't have a wallet address, the best way is if you have a Sum wallet, XXUM. If you have a Sum wallet, easy to just copy and paste but that's what we're going to need to be able to send you your Yeti. But we're giving away some Yetis here today. So let's go ahead and do a drawing here. So type in Yeti. And as you guys start typing that into the chat, we'll start getting them. You can see there's 2 entries already here. So we got 2 people, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do a draw on this puppy.
Look at all those. Look at that. Come on, guys. Get that in there. You're going to win.
As you do that, yeah. So throw the Yetis in there. And you can do it just once. I mean, it doesn't count multiple times. So just as long as you have it in there once. But we'll get enough. We only have 8 entries. So let's get going there. So if you guys want to win one.
Here's the purpose right there. Look at these guys. Chip, look how beautiful these things are.
Badass Yetis right there. There they are.
This is the white tribe. So you're going to win an NFT. You're going to win a member of the Badass Yetis white tribe. One of these guys. I don't know. It's going to be one of them. One of the clans. There's a whole bunch of them here. So throw that in there and we'll do a drawing here in a little bit. But that's exciting stuff. Those guys are really cool. So just type that in.
Yeah, we'll be letting that run in the background while we do other things, but we'll run that. So there's 13 in there right now. So as people, which is we have 85 people, 88 people watching.
88. We had 91 a second ago. Maybe people are moving over to. I don't know how we can get people over on Rumble to participate. You're gonna have to log into YouTube.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So if you're on Rumble, you have to go over to YouTube. We have to run it through YouTube. So sorry about that. For those of you that are over on Rumble, keep Rumble going. Log into YouTube. Throw in your Yeti statement. I'm gonna put the just in case you don't have the link to where we're at. I'm gonna have to grab the YouTube link for you guys just to make it easy. Even though I'm sure you can find it if you're on Rumble, you're on YouTube, you can find us. But let's make it easy. Let's make it easy for those of you over on Rumble. Why is that ad playing? Here we go. Let's throw that in there.
Once in a while. Let me add this over here. I want to talk about this story here.
Here you go. I just threw that into Rumble.
So Panos, a respected member of the community here, he had put this because one of the things that I keep seeing a lot. I mean, I'll open up this tweet here, but this X post, I should say X. So he had talked about this right here. He said, I've been blocked by Digital Perspectives for calling him out many times in the past. Some people sent me this asking questions. I see it's the same enabler of misinformation and farming for engagement and views has to stop. Let me explain why it's nonsense. And again, the serious question, when is XLS 30D passes and the automated moneymakers become an integral part of the XRPL? Will it change the characteristics of XRP and qualify as Group 1B asset for the BIS and other banks? And basically what he did here is he called it out saying, and this is what drives me crazy, what you see on X, because people are, it's fun to speculate. I get speculation. Jeff and I speculate here. We like to speculate on price and we like to speculate on world events. I get it. But what he's saying here is the characteristics of XRP can never change. It's always going to remain the native coin of the XRP ledger. It's always going to be a decentralized digital asset that anyone can trade freely. It can never become a stable coin for that reason. It's technically not possible, makes no sense whatsoever. Yet we see all these influencers, we see people peddling this stuff nonstop. AMMs thrive when there's volatility and the LPs make more money. And as volatility attracts more traders and more trades mean more money fees for the LPs, the XRPL AMM is specifically designed to work best when there's big volatility. And he's coming off of David Schwartz, I should say. I hate when you use Joel Katz. What is stupid? Get rid of that Joel Katz, stupid dumbass thing. Again, there's even a simpler one. AMMs charge fees when they trade. Volatility causes people to trade with the AMM, and thus AMMs turn volatility into fees. And this is even a grosser oversimplification. Not to mention that the XRPL AMM will potentially add buying pressure on XRP as a significant number is expected to be locked up on AMM, which will also increase the liquidity of XRP and will attract even more traders and make XRP more efficient for more use cases. So this is really what it's out to do. But this whole speculation on, is it going to become a stable coin? It is going to be it's nonsense. So thank God for Panos calling this out. And Jeff, the amount of incoming hate that he got is unbelievable. I mean, so the idea that the AMM will make XRP stable makes no sense. The AMM is basically another exchange to trade XRP and XRPL tokens among the hundreds that already exist worldwide, both centralized and decentralized. The XRP community should stop following and paying attention to enablers of misinformation and learn more about the technicals of XRPL and AMM. And then there's this is great, guys. If you've seen this, Treasury, XRPL, I started this, I got to finish it, but it's a XLS30 automated market maker. It's a free course that you can take that will really explain, if you really want to learn, you really want to learn a little bit about it, go to this course. It's at Treasury XRPL. It's a phenomenal course. I've heard great reviews. CryptoReady has taken it. She said it's phenomenal. This is how you learn the actual of what's really going on here. And then, so commenting on that, yeah, we had another comment on that, Jeff. So, you know, and then, so this is Wheezy, which has done amazing work out there. With all due respect, what the F does it matter what someone's, you know, so believes or questions? I'm not saying engagement farming. I don't believe it is, but why does it matter? And, you know, one of the things that I had to say was, he's like, you don't believe he's farming for engagement? LOL. And, you know, I had to put a comment out there. It said, hey, it's fascinating to speculate about the possibility of XRP reaching a $100 price point. While it hasn't exceeded its all-time high yet, we all like to speculate, right? The core principles of XRP remain constant. Panos plays a pivotal role in educating the XRP community about its mechanics. There's a lot of incorrect information circulating around XRP and Ripple, and Panos advocates for accuracy. Opinions on XRP are sharply divided, giving way to disrespectful dialogues, which I've seen all over the place. Oh my God, there's so much hate in that one shit posting in that one under Panos's, you know, bringing the truth. Too often individuals passionately back up misinformation, a habit that's destructive. It also erodes the integrity of the community. And I was saying, because he was blocked, I don't block people because it conflicts with my belief in free speech, Jeff, you know, where we stand on that. If you're going to attack me personally or my family, that's another story. However, if you want to voice your opinion, you disagree with me, well, go for it. I want to hear it. I put something else out there about the Gary Gensler, and someone said, this is nonsense. I said, prove me wrong. Go ahead. I'll wait. Nothing. Came back with nothing. I have the proof. I have the receipts on it. I'll show you where it was proven. So in the absence of differing opinions, discussions become these unidimensional, resembling these echo chambers. Like, we're all going to get in there and we're going to shit post together and pretend. Jeff, what are your thoughts on this whole disinformation stuff that we see everywhere now?
Yeah, so I'm going to say greetings from Belgium. Belgian beer is great.
Love Belgian beer.
There. Before we talk about that, Jim D is saying the word stablecoin is as useless as calling the dollar a variable currency. What is that? Arable currency? The US dollar, a arable currency.
I don't know what it is.
Did I miss something there? Jim D, what is arable? There's probably an explanation to that. All currency exchanges at different values to each other based on supply, demand, and perceived value. That's a typo. Yep. So that's exactly it. So the value of these currencies right now, let's say like with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's a good example. Supply, demand, perceived value. That's it. The US dollar, you could consider that supply, demand, perceived value, and the fact that we have a massive military. And we have big production in the country to back all that up, even though it's just an IOU. It's not really backed by anything other than that. You know, so, but, you know, to your point, there's a huge amount of misinformation that's spread online, on Twitter, on YouTube, etc. And, you know, I do take note of it. I am very concerned about it. You know, but I think if someone is bringing it as opinion, to say, hey, I'm just, you know, they're speculating on it, they're having fun with it, they're analyzing certain data, they're not spouting it as fact. If you're spouting it as fact, this is exactly what's going to happen, that XRP will become a stable coin as an example, and here's the reason why it's going to happen. But if he says, hey, you know, I believe that XRP could become a stable coin, and here's why I think it can happen, what difference does it make? You know, I mean, if someone wants to talk about it like that and people want to engage with them and have fun over it, you know, and discuss it and dissect it and have a workshop, like, you know, Chip, you and I workshop
stupid,
things
Jeff.
all the
It's
time. We
stupid
break it
talk.
down. We'll throw it out. Hey, XRP
No.
589 tomorrow. Okay, we start that out. That might be the thumbnail. And then we start out, here's why
But
XRP
you
won't
can't have
be
a serious
589
discussion about it.
tomorrow. But for all those people that say it will happen, it's going to happen by December, end of year, and then you want to have a serious conversation, like you're saying, with these people that are spreading misinformation. But if they're doing it on a continuous basis, it's very concerning, because then people are gravitating to that misinformation as fact. And now they look at somebody and they say, well, that person that's spouting all this misinformation, maybe they know something different. And now I'm going to start following them. Now I'm also going to believe them. Now I'm also going to do things based on the information I'm getting from that source. But then really, at the end of the day, also, it comes down to that individual to do their own research. Doesn't everyone say DYOR, do your own research? Don't just listen to what people have to say.
That's a bad thing, though, because a lot of people are dumb and they
Where
can't
do you
do research.
Well,
And
even to
the
that point, they're
problem
like,
is,
I am doing my research. I'm on
no,
Twitter.
they research these nutters out there that are talking about the mechanics. The whole idea of what Panos was bringing is the mechanics of XRP do
Right.
not change. The mechanics of the XRPL
That's
do
right.
not change.
That's
so
correct.
you can't speculate.
Yeah.
It's going to become this. It's going to become that.
Right.
It's going to become a reserve currency.
You can't. Right.
That stuff doesn't change. So it's like, you know, this whole thing is, and Jim D's right, and they nailed it right here. It is a stable coin.
Smart.
XRP is a stable coin in that 3-second transfer window. You know, that volatility stuff when it's moving.
Mm-hmm. Would it
But
have
there's
to
no-
be high? Wouldn't its price have to be? I don't think its price would have
has
to
nothing to do with
be
it.
stable, right?
It's a
And I
volatile.
think it's the volatility of it. I agree with you, Chip.
There's no. I mean, you want a stable coin, you create a stable coin, and you're backing it to a usually USD, which goes down in value. So it's like it's worth less and less every single day. So the whole
Right.
idea of this, it's the whole thing's beyond me. But again,
It
this
is.
is
But the animosity of it, Chip. I remember a number of years ago when I first started making videos, I started talking about XRP, and I got attacked by people. Who's that young kid that did a lot of videos that's no longer on?
Alex.
Yeah. So people attacked me
Elon.
because they said, this isn't your space. Why are you making videos on this space? This is his space. Get out of his space. Don't make videos on this stuff.
Alex Cobb is what you're talking
Right.
about.
And so those people, I just wait.
Live streaming and tanking the price of XRP. Every time he does a live stream and it's going up, as soon as he turns his live stream on, I mean, he's a kid. I mean, he's like, what, 20 something now, but he was a kid back then.
He was like 17, 18. No, I know, but it wasn't him that was attacking me. He was making his own videos. You know, someone else, people that followed him attacked me saying, hey, why are you in his space? I'm like, what do you mean why I'm in his space? I'm making videos on XRP.
Space? I mean, yeah.
What
So
is none of your business?
We got
There's a lot of
23.
misinformation out there. We need more than 23.
Guys, be prepared to give your wallet. If you don't have your wallet, then you're not getting a Yeti. So I'm going to need your wallet address.
Somebody
to post it up there.
So, Chip, somebody asked here. Hang on, where'd he go? So DD1, if DD1 is still on here, he's in the UK. He's saying, what is the best wallet to keep XRP on? Zum, Ledger, Nano. I think there's a good number of them. It's a matter of whether or not you want to be on an exchange. You know, you can be on like a Bitroot, on an Uphold, something
I wouldn't
like
recommend
that.
an exchange. I wouldn't recommend an exchange.
Right.
If you want
that's an easy way. That's an easy way to hold it. But
it's a dumb way. It's a way to lose
but-
everything you've ever owned. That's
But
a
from
really
an
stupid way.
NFT perspective or an XRP perspective, Zum Wallet's nice. The Ledger's nice.
Yeah, I mean, the Ledger Nano. There's a bunch of them. There's the Elipal. There's, you know, I question the wallets that come out of that are connected to China. There's a couple that are, you know, maybe they say Singapore, maybe they say, you know, I'm just saying that I worry about some of the wallets out there and their connection. So it's best to probably have like Jeff's talking about, a multifaceted approach where you have several. Keep some on your Zum, keep some on your Nano, keep some, you know, spread it out a little bit. I mean, because one hit takes it out. I mean, we saw Stefan Tomas, who lost his Bitcoin because he lost his seed phrase. I mean, this is a guy in the know. I mean, it happens. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that people do that. Some people keep a little bit on exchange that they're okay with losing. so it's a little more liquid and they can get at it. Some people keep it on a nano. Some people keep it on their Zum wallet, and some people keep it on a bunch of them. Some people have multiple, wallets. But again, it makes it more complex.
Whatever. You can
but
keep
there's
it
a
on an
bunch of
exchange.
them out there.
Keep it on a bunch of exchanges.
There's a new one out there that I've seen that I want to investigate. I actually want to see if we can get our hands on one because it looks like they're calling it the Apple of the watches. It looks like it's amazing looking wallet. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna reach out to those guys, see if they can send us one. I want to review it and actually see if it's any good. But
Tangem is
Tangem cards, yeah, that's the Tangem cards.
Yeah.
Tangem, yeah, I'm a little bit. Yeah, I'm a little bit on that. I have Tangem card. I have the Tangem with the Zum, but yeah, I don't know if I like the card. And then there's other ways you can protect yourself too. There's a YubiKey key as well that adds an extra layer of protection. So you have to have a special USB key on top of that. So the more levels of protection that you add, the better it's going to be. So you always want to make sure that, and you got to be careful, man, because it's so easy. But none of us are above it. It doesn't matter how long we've been in the space. One wrong click, somebody sends something to your phone and you clicked on it by mistake. Any message I get about deliveries or anything, I delete and mark as junk. Everything on my phone.
Immediately.
Everything's still. I don't click on any links. I don't even click on links from official, exchanges. I don't click on any links in any emails or any. That's the best way to do it. You get text messages. I don't care unless it's from your preferred list of like family and friends. Never click on it. Delete it all. And that's how they get you, man. That's just how they get you. This phishing things. And especially if you're on a PC, you're a lot more vulnerable in this arena. But let's go ahead and do the draw, Jeff. Let's do it. Let's see what we got.
We can do the draw. Look at that. We got, I guess you could even drop your Zum wallet address right in here. I mean,
you have to drop it in there. Otherwise, you're not getting a Yeti.
I guess they can drop the address. I was going to say send a DM, but you can actually just put it in the chat because
that's right.
The Zum address is actually a good way to go. So I've seen.
Here we go.
And if you're over on.
There we go, Jeff. Who's it going to be? 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 Jim D. Omaro. Jim D. Roland Bautista wins.
Roland Bautista.
Boom, 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 boom. Drop your.
Roland Bautista. Give a shout out. Make sure you're still here with us.
I need your wallet, my man. I'm gonna cue this up again real quick.
We're gonna keep doing this. Come on.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Go ahead and enter. Hang on a second. Let me cue this up again.
Roland. Where is Roland? Roland Bautista. Come on. If he's not here, then we're gonna have to roll it again.
Yeah, that's what happens.
So hopefully Roland is still here with us.
And no,
Roland Bautista. There he is. Roland's still here with us. All right.
It's dropping soon. Very good, Roland. Very good to hear that. Soon. And when you guys, and just so you guys know, you have to go into your Zum wallet and you have to go ahead and accept it. There's a tab where you accept it.
That's
but
right.
I'm going to go ahead. Guys, let's go ahead. Let me type this in one more time. We're going to give away another one here. I love when they win.
And there we go.
Drop in the Yeti again.
Oh, this is a little bit behind schedule here.
Okay, I've got 17 entries. Guys, drop it. Go ahead and do the Yetis. Type in Yeti again.
Roll another Yeti. We're going to do one more drawing.
Do another one here.
One more drawing for a badass white tribe Yetis.
Roland is here.
Just start dropping. Is it ready to go? Can they start dropping Yeti? Start dropping Yeti again. Drop in Yeti again while we're waiting on Roland. Everyone type Yeti. Yeti. Makes it easy.
Drop it in there, man. Drop it in there. Let me just double check here.
Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, I see people are dropping here. So here we go. We got 19 in there. Okay, we're going to count them down. 10. Drop in Yeti in the chat. YETI. We got 20 entries, 20 potential possibilities. That's a good chance of winning, Jeff. 1 out of 21 right now.
Oh, let's go.
And we got a big winner. Roland Bautista is the winner of a badass Yeti, joining the tribe. Guys, we also have a Discord that you guys can come over and verify your Yeti on. You also get money off of you get a discount on the badass Yeti coffee. We have 30 entries now. Now we're rocking. We got 90 people
Yeti
on here.
without the S. Yeti without the S. Make sure you don't put the S on it. So Yeti. Just Yeti.
Got 31 guys. Let's see. We got a couple more here to go, but
again Yeti. No S.
Yeti. Roland, drop your we'll have to drop your
I know it's We like going with the Yetis, but in this case, it's just a Yeti. Just type in the Yeti. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we're trying to make it as easy as possible.
YETI. YETI.
Yeah.
SoFlo got the S in there again, so he's got to try it again. Just a Yeti.
Yeah. Yeti. You are right, though. It is Yetis, but we're trying to make it just simple on the characters. That's all.
Just easy. So it's like, oh, did I type in Yeti or Yetis? And
So
you
we
just
got
have to type it
32.
once. Once it goes
I'm
in,
going to count down.
it's being
10,
recorded over
9,
there. Oh, wait,
8,
hang on. SoFlo's trying to
7.
do it again. He keeps putting the S on it. No S.
No, yes.
You
There's
can
no
type
S.
Yeti. Night.
YETI.
YETI.
I'm going to give you a shot.
Come on.
I'm going to give you a shot, SoFlo. Let's go.
Come on, one more time.
He keeps typing in Yetis.
There he goes again.
Dude, it's YETI. This is your last shot. There's no S on it. YETI.
Okay.
It's your last
Come on,
chance. I'm giving you
SoFlo.
one more shot to get it right. Otherwise, I'm drawn. That's
It's
what
probably
it is
just
right
to
there.
have it.
It's
It's
right
like,
there.
you know what it's doing? Auto spell. It's like the auto.
It might be because there it is again. Sorry, man.
It's
You
like
just-
he's like SoFlo's a bot here with us.
Davey's laughing over here. He's laughing. His
There
ass
we
off.
go. He finally got
Boom,
it.
we got a winner. Okay, we got it. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead. Now we can pull it. Now we can pull it. We have 34 entries, guys. Let's go. Who's it going to be? Who's going to win? Let's go.
Here we go.
Running through it. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
Views on
Boom.
Bruise. Boom.
Views on Bruise. Where we go. Sweet. Winner, chicken dinner.
Now you got to drop your Zum address right into here so we can grab it. Oh.
Yeah, I've got the drop your Zum wallet, guys, so we can go ahead and take care of that because we want to make sure we get you your Yetis. Drop your Yetis, drop your address. So Roland, go ahead and drop your Zum wallet address. And the easiest way to do that, if you go into Zum, XUM, you click on the request, and then you hit copy.
Sure.
So there's a big green button up at the top that says request. DNI's in the house, and you click request, and then you click copy, and that's it. And just paste it right into that. Very simple, guys. Waiting for that. I'm going to need those wallet addresses, otherwise you're not getting Yetis. That's how it works. So views on Bruise, you're still in there. We have to get your
is right there. Yo.
Okay, so drop your Zum wallet address. Go into your Zum wallet, click on request, and then click the copy button, and then you just drop your wallet address in there.
So
Otherwise,
Roland and views on Bruise. You got to get us your Zum. Kenzo saying YubiKey plus authentication app is the best protection. I like that too. That's
what I have. The YubiKey.
I've got both of them. Oh, Roland has done it 3 times and it's not working. So you're gonna have to.
Done what 3 times?
Huh?
Done what 3 times?
Just try to send the Zum, and it's blocking it for some reason.
I don't think so.
YouTube could be blocking it.
I don't think so. People put their wallets
Well,
in
if
there
you tried to
before.
do it and it didn't work, then it's blocking it.
No, because people have done it.
If he tried it and it didn't work.
Well, here's the thing. There's no Yeti for you. You had a shot and you lost it. Took a shot, lost it. Because I will tell you one thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to be chasing anybody for a Yeti. That ain't going to happen. So you're going to have to drop something else because this is not going to be my lifelong challenge.
The chat is 30 seconds behind. Jim D said he saw 2 wallet addresses. So they've been blocked. I'm looking through the YouTube and they're gone. I think YouTube.
All right, then you'd have to drop your handle on X then, because it's the only way I'm going to get ahead of you. Otherwise,
put in
better luck next time.
Roland can see it, but we can't see it. Roland, what is your what's your Twitter? Throw in your Twitter.
If he can see it and we can't see it, maybe it's filtering it out on our side.
It's filtering it completely.
Let's see.
Views on Bruise can see it. Everyone can see it, but we can't see it. How bizarre is that?
Let me go to hang on a second. Let me go to. Well, it doesn't surprise me. It is YouTube. I mean, let's face it.
How bizarre is that?
Terribly surprised.
That makes no sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. It's probably StreamYard that's like thinks it's.
Oh, here we go. There's that, and here's what's even crazier. we couldn't see views on Brews, but now I see DNI just posted views on
Yeah,
Brews.
but I need to get it from the real one. I can't
Yep.
accept that.
So views on Brews, you got to send us an invite to our Twitter.
No, hang on a second. Hang on. So let's see. I'm going to go to the chat myself and see if I can find it.
If you can see it, I can't see it either.
No, I'm talking about the
right
YouTube
now.
chat. The
I'm in
YouTube
it.
chat?
I'm in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, let's see the YouTube chat.
Let's see if you can see it.
All I see the one is from DNI.
How bizarre is it? Yeah, I see DNI's, but that's views on Brews posted his. We can't see it.
That's why I don't
DNI
like
can
doing
see
this,
it.
Jeff. This is why it's always a bad idea. It sounds like a great idea, but it's not. It doesn't make good for the show.
How bizarre is it that we can't see it?
Oh, I do see Rollins. I see Rollins. Okay, hang on a second.
You can see Rollins?
Yeah.
That's even more bizarre.
Yeah, I see it now. This is weird. I think it's StreamYard, the one that it's actually crossing it out. Yeah, I have his. Okay, that's good. Thank you for that, Roland.
Very
Appreciate
strange.
that. Sorry, guys. I mean, on our side, there's always some kind of technical difficulty that makes this a challenge and makes it zero.
So now we
fun.
need Rollins was blocked. So, but you found it
I
now.
have
You
his.
saw his.
Yeah.
And so now we need views on Brews to post his again.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking through it to see if So I think what happened was I think StreamYard software probably is what.
But I'm in YouTube Direct.
So
if I'm in the YouTube chat and I can't see it in the YouTube chat, what is that?
Yeah, I see. Thanks, Roland. I thank you for being. I appreciate you doing that, man. I know you did it 3 times. Unfortunately, it's on our side. The streaming software we use it was blocking it. So the one we're missing,
YouTube's
views on Brews, we're missing that one.
Jim
And if
D
we don't
just
get it,
unblocked
we don't get it soon, or we don't get some communication from you, then we're gonna have to do another draw.
Well, I see DNI shared his, but we got to verify that that's accurate.
No, that's not it. I already have Rollins. What we're waiting for is views on.
Just said views on Brews. DNI shared views on Brews's wallet.
But it doesn't matter. I got to get it from views on Brews. I can't
That's
get
what
it
I
from a
just said.
secondary source.
We need him to post it again. You need to type something in ahead of it, I think. There's something blocking. That's so bizarre. Huh.
Enzo was asking any thoughts on Nayrov's unique breaking news NFT. Yeah, I thought it was innovative as hell. I think it's one way to. I mean, I would have loved to have gone. That's just it's so complex to go into that. But breaking it as an NFT, I think it was amazing. Breaking it not on the XRPL, I think was a bad move. And some weird chain, I don't know.
You know what?
It was awkward, but
views on Brews. Are you over? If you're on Rumble, post it over on Rumble. If you're on Rumble, that is a good way. Oh, views on Brews. DNI is posted my correct address. Okay, I've got it. I'm just double checking it. That one is so views on Brews. Yours starts in an R and ends in a Q.
Yeah, drop it in the private chat there, Jeff.
Yeah.
So I can
wait. Now I got to get out of YouTube. Hang on.
That's weird. Why? Maybe because he put something before it. Do you think is that why?
Something's YouTube blocked it. Oh, there. It's so weird. I can see it. I can see his on StreamYard, but I can't see it on YouTube. Explain that.
No, man. It's a.
I got it.
Right, looks like we got them both. That's awesome. Thanks,
we got
guys.
them both. You got the one I just sent you. That one is views on Brews. The one I just sent you in private chat.
Real quick.
Starts with an R, ends with a Q.
Yeah. So this will be later today, guys. Where you check your Zum wallet, and you'll have to go in there. You'll have to accept it. It's a little bit wonky. It's not the easiest to use, but I think in Zum, I think you go to the Events tab. I think it's under Requests or something like that. Just click around. You'll see it, and you'll have to accept it. That's all. So we'll go ahead and initiate the transfer, and then you guys will end up seeing it, and then boom, you're in the club. Go to at Badass Yetis on X, and then go to our Discord, and then verify. You just go into one of the channels and you verify your thing, and there's some just join the tribe, man. Join the tribe. Be in the tribe. So yes, we'll see you guys over there for sure.
Here's how you get to the Badassery Discord right here. There you go. You can use that link. That's an invite to Badassery. That's where you see the Badass Yetis.
That's why we do
And
this
Chip.
at the end of the show, because
Yep, and that's all we got,
it
because
takes up a lot of the time, man.
takes up a lot of time. Got 88 people watching over here on YouTube and 23 watching over on Rumble. Tomorrow night, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, exclusively over on Rumble. We won't be on YouTube tomorrow night. We're on Rumble. So come check us out on Rumble at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that'll be awesome. We'll look forward to seeing a whole bunch of people over there. Jump over to Rumble. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the follow, and there'll be a lot of great things.
He says all addresses begin with an R. Yeah, smart ass.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. You know that,
But
but
it's
just we're
just
in a verification. We're just
Not gonna
verifying.
not
you know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, we know it starts with an R. So, but smart ass. All right, that's all we have,
Want to be in the
guys.
tribe? Join. Jump over to Discord. You can join the tribe. You can also buy a white ass Yetis.
Yeah, listen, guys, you're 45 XRP. Go,
45
we want to support.
XRP.
We want to support on the chain. You like what you see here. You enjoy coming in here, having the fodder with all of your XRP community family. You want to do that. That's how you support us. Go over there, buy a couple badass
Yetis.
a white ass Yetis. Buy some badass white. There's the white tribe and the blue tribe. The blue tribe is very rare, which there's only 589 of them, and that they are at 125 XRP. And then the white tribe is 45 XRP. But go over there and buy one, man. Go grab one. I mean, yeah, we really appreciated all the support. The other thing you do is go to Badass Yeti's Coffee, and you can support us by buying one of the best. I mean, I'm drinking it right now, Jeff. It is the hands down best coffee there is. And people that have bought it, if you guys are in there with this Obsidian Bold right here, it is basically your order comes in. Those beans are roasted and it's sent out. And if you've never had fresh roasted beans, you're missing out, man. It is something special. It's a taste that you will remember.
And that's it. That's all we got for today.
Congrats, Roland.
Congrats to Roland. Congrats to Views on Brews. You guys are awesome.
Views on Brews. You guys are awesome. Thanks for
Rumble link. Let me get you to.
Thanks for sticking with us. After we asked you 3 times to put them in there, you guys put them in 10 times. So appreciate that. Fortunately, we have.
And here's how you find us on Rumble. There you go.
Guys, go over there. Click over there. If you're not on Rumble, go over. It's real easy. They have an app. It's pretty cool. But you'll get the alerts on there if you go ahead and follow us on there. But you'll get the alerts. But 8 o'clock tomorrow night. But again, it's a little more. Shows a little more unfiltered, a little bit more freedom focused on those 2 nights. But again, we're going to do this again. We're going to give away Yetis for the next couple of weeks. So we'll be giving away on Saturday. So come on back on next Saturday. And if you didn't win today, you'll get a chance to win. It's always fun to win week. Especially a badass Yeti.
It's fun giving them away. We have a whole bunch to give away. We put a bunch aside specifically for the giveaways.
Okay.
Might even grab a blue tribe and give
link again.
away a blue tribe.
It's right above there. Crypto Wealth. It's right there.
They're all in there. Rumble.
You should see it in there.
Badass Yeti's Coffee. Blue tribe, white tribe. I put links to everything up above.
Yeah, I dropped the Rumble link in there. We have the Rumble link. Do we have that in our description? We probably should add that in the description, Jeff. That's what I'm thinking. The Rumble link in our YouTube description.
I had put it in there, but I think we lost it when we changed something. So I got to re-update it.
Okay, we'll re-update that too. But Laurel coming in late.
Laurel is late.
Detention. The principal's office, straight to the principal's office. Laurel, that's okay. You can watch the reboot.
Views on Brews. We're gonna get to it here this afternoon. We're gonna be moving over to Views on Brews and to Roland. You guys are gonna get your NFTs a little bit later over to your Zum wallet, which is really cool. Come back Saturday morning next week for a chance to get another mint.
Yeah, get another badass white tribe Yeti. But yeah, you guys look in there, see which one you're gonna get. I'll send you something fun. Hope you guys enjoy them. Welcome to the tribe.
Well, I'm out of coffee, so we got to end the show.
Me too. I gotta re-up here. So we got time to end the show. Coffee's out. Time to go. All right, guys.
Time to go. That's it.
Love you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Chip and Jeff. See you guys.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.